naja, egal. So, wo war ich jetzt? Genau. Moin Friends, was geht ab? Hier ist wieder eure Lieblingsbeanie und ich habe einen Vorschlag erhalten. Vielen Dank für den Vorschlag. Der Vorschlag kommt von Benny. Benny macht viele Vorschläge. Vielen Dank, dass du so viele Vorschläge machst, Benny. Und dieser Vorschlag hat sogar ein Like bekommen, nicht von mir. Also von mir kriegt er nur ein Herz. Aber der Vorschlag hat ein Like bekommen. Deswegen habe ich gedacht, aha, das wünscht sich wohl noch jemand anders. Das finde ich übrigens gut, wenn ihr Vorschläge seht und euch denkt, aha, das will ich auch sehen. Dann liked doch einfach den Vorschlag. Das ist doch eine gute Idee, oder? Ich packe den Link für die Vorschläge nochmal unten rein. Ich hoffe, der ändert sich dann nicht 48 Mal. Das war ja sehr nervig beim letzten Mal. Naja, okay. Also, das Video heißt Introvertierton von Plankton. Auf Plankton haben wir noch nie reacted, glaube ich. Ich kenne den aber und finde seine Videos wirklich sehr, sehr schön. Sehr, sehr witzig, also super Humor. Also ja, einfach irgendwie sympathischer Dude. Aber ein Langform-Video habe ich, glaube ich, noch nicht gesehen von ihm. Und ja, dann ist jetzt eben Premiere. Klasse. Ich freue mich. Okay? Okay.
Es gibt zwei Arten von Menschen. Es gibt Menschen und es gibt Menschen, die es einfach nicht schaffen, vom Italian Brainrot Trend runterzukommen.
Ist das nicht dieser Typ hier? Der hat doch gerade, als das, ich sag mal, neu war, ich habe auf YouTube Italian Brainrot Speedruns gesehen, wo er dann, also das wurde dann so angezeigt und er musste dann so ganz schnell irgendwie den Namen sagen. Was ein dämlicher Unsinn. Dann musste ich auf YouTube super oft auf interessiert mich nicht. Kennt ihr, wenn ihr YouTube Shorts guckt, da sind ja oben immer die 3 Punkte und dann musst du da drauf gehen, interessiert mich nicht oder nicht mehr anzeigen oder ausblenden und dann fragt YouTube, warum? Leider konnte ich die Option übelster Dummfick nicht finden. Tja, dann mussten sie jetzt halt mit der Begründung sonstiges leben. Seitdem wird mir auch kein Italian Brainrot mehr angezeigt. Also so ein Müll. Also wirklich. Naja, ich bin ja ganz froh, dass sowas auf YouTube immer erst, ja, viel zu spät kommt, sag ich mal. Wenn das auf TikTok schon halb wieder tot ist, aber ich fürchte, das stirbt irgendwie nicht. Naja, letztens hat mir ein Kollege ein Video geschickt, bayerischer Brainrot, und dann waren das so Brezeln. Aber dann waren die trotzdem mit so italienischen Namen, wo ich mir dachte, hä? Ja, ich habe keinen Bock mehr, ich hasse das Internet.
Und dann gibt's nochmal zwei Arten von Menschen. Es gibt Leute, die in einem fremden Umfeld, wie zum Beispiel irgendeine Hausparty, bei der man die meisten nicht kennt, dann so verrückte Dinge tun wie... Oder...
Ja, das habe ich letztens auch so erlebt. Aber dann ist super viel Land mitgekommen. Ich bin Manfred, by the way.
Und dann gibt's Leute, die wirklich absolut gar kein Problem damit hätten, den gesamten Abend auf der Stelle da zu existieren und ihren zwischenmenschlichen Austausch am Ende auf nur einer Hand abzählen zu können. Ich komm gleich wieder.
Ich will nur kurz zur Tanke, versprochen, ich komme gleich wirklich wieder.
Vielleicht hast auch du schon mal so einen Menschen erlebt und ich bin gefragt, ob das auch wirklich so sein soll.
Vielleicht hast du sogar schon Sorgen gemacht, weil der Brustkorb sich zwar noch bewegt hat und die Heavy Watcher doch noch kein Herzkasper-Alarm gemacht. Aber mehr als das kam da halt auch nicht wirklich. Aber keine Sorge, sei versichert, das ist so gewollt. Ein Phänomen, das ich jetzt immer wieder erleben.
Weil der ist einfach nur introvertiert. Ich frage mich dann immer, warum, also ich muss für die Frage kurz ein wenig ausholen. Meine Freundin, ihr kennt sie alle, sie ist eine Süßmaus. Sie, übrigens, oh nein, bevor ich das jetzt erzähle, ganz kurz, sie hat den Walhai bestellt, vielen Dank. Ich glaube, die Reaction hat wirklich 600 Likes gekriegt, also ja, ihr habt auch wirklich nicht mehr alle Latten am Zaun. Ich bedanke mich, ja, das soll jetzt hier kein, ja tatsächlich, ich guck gerade nach, es sind 600 Likes und ein Dislike. Das ist verrückt, also wirklich, vielen Dank, nice. Krass, das ist ganz krass. So, sie hat das Warenheim-Plüschtier bestellt und da stand, ja, Ankunft Samstag. Es ist Sonntag, keine Ankunft. Schade. Aber sobald es kommt, blende ich euch das selbstverständlich in dem Video ein. Und natürlich, also vielen Dank. Jetzt habe ich ein kleines Warenheim-Plüschtier. Geil. So, ein zweites Mal. Hat meine Freundin letztens festgestellt, ich bin ein introvertierter Mensch, gefangen in einem Körper von einem extrovertierten Mensch. So, eigentlich ist es so, oh, Spaß haben. Und wenn ich dann draußen bin, bin ich so, ach du Scheiße, ich hasse es hier. Ich will wieder nach Hause. Was soll das? Hier sind so viele Leute. Großer Gott, gestern auch. Da war noch so ein kleinen Open-Air-Festival. Ich hab erst gedacht, boah, das ist bestimmt richtig schön. Ich habe noch eine getroffen, die ich ganz lange nicht gesehen habe. Und das war total klasse. Und dann durfte ich mir Sachen mit reinnehmen, die man sonst nicht reinnehmen. Sorry, das darfst du jetzt nicht mehr. Das ist schon wieder nicht. Mein Gesicht. Ich machst du die Scheiße eigentlich immer wieder so? Genau. Aber das führt mich zu meiner Frage, warum gehen introvertierte Menschen überhaupt auf Partys? Ich weiß, warum ich auf Partys gehe, weil ich dumm bin und immer wieder vergesse, dass es mir nicht gut geht. Aber es gibt ja auch Leute, die sind introvertiert. Hier sind bestimmt noch Leute in den Kommentaren, die sind introvertiert. Warum geht ihr auf Partys? Denkt ihr euch am Anfang, Mensch, das wird bestimmt schön und es stellt ihr auch so fest wie ich. Ach Mensch, das ist gar nicht schön. Oder vielleicht ist das auch so, dass ihr genötigt werdet, dass ihr so Freunde habt, die dann sagen, ach komm, das wird bestimmt mega lustig. Und ihr denkt euch dann, okay, nur weil du es bist, komme ich mit. Das wird bestimmt lustig. Aber es wurde nicht lustig. Es wurde anstrengend. Früher ging das, also ich habe ja irgendwann aufgehört, Alkohol zu trinken, komplett. Und jetzt kann ich das nicht mehr. So. Früher war ich so bekam auf Party an, ich direkt zu irgendwem abgehauen. Ey, was geht? Ich nicht kannte, scheißegal. Da hatte ich einfach Bock drauf, irgendwie mit fremden Leuten reden, mit denen so ins Gespräch zu kommen. Kann ich nicht, wenn ich nüchtern bin. Ist vielleicht auch besser so. Also, keine Ahnung, was noch passiert wäre. Vielleicht wäre ich irgendwann entführt worden. Wobei jeder, der mich entführte, gibt mich innerhalb von einer halben Stunde zurück, wenn er es überhaupt so lange schafft. Okay, dann gucken wir lieber das Video von Plankton weiter. Wie er uns erklärt, was introvertierte Menschen sind.
Sogar noch mal gezeichnet. Siehst du, wie er da rumsteht, wie so ein verkauftes Fischbrötchen?
Ich bin nicht sonderlich gut darin, mit Menschen Unterhaltung aufrechtzuerhalten. Ich bin nicht gut darin, in Gruppengesprächen themenbezogene Zwischenfragen zu stellen.
Oh ja, das habe ich letztens auch so erlebt. Aber wie findest du das?
Doch, das kann ich. Da ist die extrovertiert. Das kann ich wohl. Ich kann Gespräche am Laufen halten. Ich kann das zum Beispiel gestern Abend, nach diesem lustigen Open-Air-Festival, hat mich dann eine Freundin nach Hause gefahren. Voll nett. Und es war unerträglich, dass in diesem Auto irgendwann Stille herrschte. Und dann, wir haben uns die ganze Zeit wirklich gut erhalten haben uns auch. Wir haben uns gut unterhalten, wirklich, es war wirklich nett. Nur irgendwann war es dann kurz ruhig und mein Gehirn war so, das darf jetzt nicht sein. Los, rede. Die darf nicht nach der Autofahrt denken, dass es unangenehm war. Frag sie was. Wie geht's deiner Katze? So, ne? Ja, das musste dann sein. Ist ja auch alles gut. Ich kann das nicht. Wenn du one-on-one mit jemandem bist, dann muss das Gespräch weitergehen. Oder wenn es jetzt schon so lange, dass es okay ist. Also, mit meiner Freundin geht das. Wir können einfach miteinander existieren und wir müssen nicht die ganze Zeit miteinander reden. Und das ist sehr schön, weil es ist nicht belastend für meine Batterien. So. Das ist sehr gut. Mit meinem besten Freund kann ich das auch, dann glotzt er in sein Handy rein, ich liege einfach nur rum, so, dann alles gut, das können wir machen, so. Aber wenn das eine Person ist, mit der ich nicht irgendwie daily abhänge, die täglich interagiere, dann kann ich das nicht so gut. Ja, aber auf so einer Party, das geht wohl, also ich muss mich auch in Gespräche einhängen. Die Batterie
Let's fly!
muss ich in Isolationshaft, dann geht gar nichts mehr. Like dieses Video, abonniere den Kanal, schreib einen Kommentar.
Meine Sprechen und Gespräche. Damals in der Schule waren sowieso immer auch nur in der Ecke.
Use the force authorized.
Und ja.
Take me up! Bullseye! Bullseye!
Resistance is futile.
Bullseye! Live up to your hats. Let's fly! Open fire!
Lightning flash!
Eat Lolling! Eat Papa! Laid bare! This is where you fall. Transfixed!
Schwachsinn, wenn man angezeigt sei und überhaupt keine A7S3 mit Hüften.
Boah, geiles Teil, Alter. Entschuldigung. Also ich habe die Sony Alpha 7 III und das ist eine sehr tolle Kamera. Die habe ich mir gebraucht gekauft und die kommt jetzt immer mit wegen Urlaub.
Take me up!
Sie steht tatsächlich neben mir hier. Ich fasse sie gerade an. Jetzt hat sie gesagt, ich soll das sein lassen.
Und man sie auch definitiv immer bis in die Privatinsolvenz hochbringen sollte. Es gibt halt Leute, die haben das...
What a waste of time! Fire in the hole! Get to work! Laid bare!
Use the force
Overruled! Pitiful. Commendable. Fulfill our pact! You two! Time to...
Die wir uns dann kommt nicht so, was machst du beruflich? Es juckt mich wirklich kein bisschen, was Leute machen. Also es könnte mich nicht weniger interessieren. Ob der beim Meckes arbeitet, ob der in irgendeinem Lager arbeitet, ob der Professor Popo-Gesicht an der Uni ist. Es interessiert mich wirklich nicht. Oder vielleicht ist es so, ich mache das nicht, damit Leute mich nicht fragen, was ich beruflich mache. Damit ich nicht erklären muss, was ich beruflich mache. Weil es ist schwierig zu erklären. Und selbst wenn ich es erkläre, dann sagen die Leute wieder, aha, und das ist ein Job? Ja, naja. Bitte fragt mich jetzt in den Kommentaren nicht, was ich beruflich mache.
Das ist manchmal auch einfach sehr klar und fast nicht lesbar. Etwas introvertiert zu sein ist übrigens auch nicht hilfreich, wenn man networken möchte oder sogar müsste.
Aber gezwungene Konversation ist auch scheiße. Wenn du dich mit jemandem verstehst und dann redest du mit dem und alles irgendwie cool und dann kommt eins zum anderen und dann networkst du aus Versehen. Alles gar kein Problem. Aber so gesprochen, irgendwie network.
No, right. Here comes another one.
Open fire! Knock him down.
Use the force authorized.
Here! Thunderclap!
Resistance
Laid
is
bare.
futile. Save yourself.
Witness my rise.
Ich würde da auch überhaupt gar nicht hingehen. Also, mal ganz abgesehen davon, dass du mit einer anderen ist so nett. Vielen Dank, dass du da an mich gedacht hast. Wirklich, also wirklich ganz, ganz toll, dass du mich im Hinterkopf hattest, ne? Wie kommst du auf die scheiße Idee, dass ich komme, hä? Nein, aber unangenehm. Wenn mich niemand zwingt, würde ich nicht hingehen. Wenn meine Freundin sagt, oh komm, lass uns doch hingehen, dann würde ich gehen. Kein Problem. Wenn irgendwer mit mir geht, okay, vielleicht, maybe. Aber alleine? Niemals. Im Leben nicht. Was soll ich denn da? Nee, nee. Bin ich raus. Aber meine Freundin ist auch so, die kann das einfach so, die kann wieder networken im Büro. Wir arbeiten natürlich auch in der gleichen Firma, nur in völlig unterschiedlichen Abteilungen. Dann gehen wir runter zum Mittagessen, dumm und dann ist da die Essensschlange, alles cool.
Suffer the wrath of me! Everlasting as the moon! Laid bare!
Dann macht dir bitte keine Sorgen, wenn ich bei unserem kurzen Gespräch nicht zwischen meinen
Bin ich bereits 7 verschiedene BTMs auf einmal genommen. Dann bin ich vielleicht sogar ein bisschen schüchtern.
Das ist hier überhaupt mein Punkt. Es gibt Menschen, die können Dinge ganz gut. Und dann gibt es Menschen, von denen denkt man immer, dass sie das ganz gut können. Aber in Wirklichkeit chillen die einfach den gesamten Abend in eine Ecke und denken sich dabei wahrscheinlich, wann sich denn endlich wohl alle einmal umdrehen, damit man endlich mal kurz den College machen kann. Und der Grund, warum ich hier so plaudern kann, ist natürlich, ich hocke vor einem Mikrofon und vielleicht auch mal vor einer Kamera.
Ja.
Hier ist sonst niemand. Ich
Ja.
weiß, wie ich selber klinge. Das
ist so, ja, das ist auch wieder relatierbar.
Hier ist sonst niemand. Ich weiß, wie ich selber klinge, das ist schon lange nicht mehr weird. Ich sitze hier ganz alleine beim Kabuff und sage Dinge, die ich mir vorher schon überlegt habe. Ist also überhaupt keine Magic hier. Und vielleicht möchte ich den introvertiert.
Staring into my eyes is overruled.
Sagen, denn wenn ich das nicht böse
This is very
Show no mercy!
laid bare.
Following thunder!
Take me up!
Hold on to your hats.
Fulfill our pact! Lolling is
Go on. Witness my rise.
Dann sehen wir uns auch beim nächsten Mal. Ja, oder auch nicht. Ihr entscheidet. Bis dahin. Haut da rein.
The man told the hero that today is 15 years old.
Get
He
to work!
confirmed this and congratulated him on his coming of age. The hero thanked him and wanted to say that from now on something awaited him. But the man next to him, Otto von Edward, Marquis of the Order, asked what he was talking about when he took the bottle from the guard. He said that the
This
hero would
is
die
where
today. The order had been poisoned. The hero's name is von
Laid
Edward.
bare.
He was 15 years old. Someone was approaching the dark dungeon. The guard greeted Mr. Felix. The guy asked how the hero was doing. The guard said
Show
that
no
everything
mercy.
was as reported by Felix. The man said that his younger brother, Mr. Ron von Edwarl, was poisoned and died. The guy kicked the hero in the face, telling the guard not to call him
Everlasting as
because
the
this
moon.
trash is not hard to get.
Overruled.
An hour ago, House of Marquis Edwarl, Indian Kingdom, Eel Region, Mariella County, a dark basement, cave inside. The
Fire
hero
in the
looked
hole!
at the judge and said that his life was probably in here. He was annoyed by this because he was only
Giddy up!
15 years old and had never even gone out with him. The hero mixed
Bullseye!
wine and poison in a cup. He repeated the order to drink this and die. He did not understand how it came to this.
Take this!
He understood that from the very birth he was doomed to this. In this country, two things are important for him: birth and magical talent. His mother was a concubine of the Marquis Edouard, a servant in this house, and he was born into a noble family. But as an illegitimate child, he was unwanted from the very beginning. He has an older brother and sister, the children of his legitimate wife, in whose veins pure blood flows. In addition, they were gifted with magical talent. Blood and magic, everything a nobleman needed,
Let's
they
fly!
had.
Open
Master
fire!
appeared with a sign of honor. But the hero's situation was different. He asked the inspector of magical activities law, and he answered
Hold on to your hats. Now I'm all warmed up.
He said that there are two ways to determine magical talent.
Get to work!
Is the divine revelation magical sign. Those who have an extremely high predisposition
Witness
to one of
my
the four elements,
rise.
fire, wind, water, or earth, have a corresponding sign on their body. But the hero did not have this sign anywhere. And then the inspector said that, however,
Show no mercy! Suffer the wrath!
He told the hero to first bring his hand to the weapon. If he does not do that, then he has a predisposition to fire magic. The hero listened and did as he said. The hero screamed because he was hot, and the man said that he did not have a fiery predisposition. He said that this is how they check compatibility with 4 elements. This is the related law. He said to finish with the remaining 3 elements. At the end, he announced to Ron that he had no predisposition to any of the 4 elements. The guy was kicked and fell to the floor. The young gentleman called Ron a good-for-nothing and said that he was not from the Edward family at all. As he left, he added that the hero should not even dare to sit at the same table with them. The family ate, talking about what a disgrace it was for the Marquise's house to not know how to use magic, and on top of that, the concubine's son was dirty. The woman said she felt sick eating in the same room with the hero. He was born an unwanted child
You have my
and had no
undivided
place in this
attention.
world. He was forbidden to leave the house, and his birth was not advertised. He is a man who does not exist. But still, he was not killed, he was allowed to live, and he thought that it was his father's kindness. As long as his father, the head of this house, showed him mercy, he hoped that one day he would be accepted into the family. This weak hope supported him for 15 years. He endured, despite the contempt, hatred, and disgust. Ron's answer was poison in the cup. He stared at the liquid intently. He thought about how his father had known mercy. As a Marquis of the Borderlands, he could not kill a relative, even an illegitimate one. It would be a disgrace. His father simply wanted him to leave this life of his own free will when he came of age. Just for this, for the sake of noble pride and reputation. For 15 years he was kept in this house like cattle. The hero cried, thinking about this. He cursed while holding the cup in his trembling hands. The guy raised the cup and began to drink. Having drunk every drop, he sat in front of the table, waiting. He looked at his hands, not understanding why nothing was happening. He started laughing, saying that it wasn't poison. Suddenly, pain shot through his body and he fell, knocking over the bottles on the table with his hand. He was breathing heavily, staring at the floor with his eyes wide open in pain. He was hot. He scratched himself madly, screaming that he was very hot. His back was burning. He did not understand what was happening. Turning his attention to the side, the hero noticed a strange thing in the mirror. He looked at his glowing back when he heard a voice saying that he had learned poison magic, and the poison neutralization was about to begin. The voice said that the neutralization was complete, and now the weakening poison was available to him. The hero did not understand what was happening, and remembered the moment when his brother Felix received the magic mark. The hero thought, is this really what he thinks it is? He threw off his clothes. On his back in the mirror, he saw a shining mark in the shape of a dragon. Not believing his eyes, he immediately realized that this was a magic sign. He didn't understand why this appeared on his body and what kind of poisonous magic it was. He remembered the man's words that the first step to mastering magic is contact with it. But the related law cannot reveal the ability to magic outside the 4 elements. The hero realized that these were all pneumatic systems. That's why
Return
he
to the
himself didn't
skies!
know about his abilities. He wouldn't have known about his predisposition to poisons if he hadn't drunk it. He started laughing, saying that his father had chosen not to be burned or shot.
Return to the
poison,
skies!
and for that he thanked him for his choice. His life was not over yet. There was another problem. The hero did not understand how to escape. There was no time. He did not know when the guards would come to check his body. Even if he could deal with the guards, the estate was full of patrolling guards. The hero understood that if he was noticed, the entire Edwarl family would come to kill him. All of the Edwarl family were pieces of magic. He knew that in a fight he would be killed instantly. Even with poison magic, he could only use slow-acting poison to weaken him and would not be able to deal with them. The hero almost gave up, realizing that everything was useless and he saw no way to escape. Repeating the mantra of escape and the poison of weakening, he finally found the solution he needed. He thought that if he couldn't escape, he would leave the estate openly. He didn't know if it would work, but it was his only chance at the present time. The hero lay motionless on the floor. Felix pressed his boot on his face, saying that he thought he would pretend to drink poison and try to escape, but it turns out he missed his mark with his thoughts. He said that the dirty blood that disgraced the House of Edwarl had finally disappeared. Felix von Edwarl, head of the House of the Marquis Edwarl, He looked silently at Ron's corpse, as if expecting something. Clicking his tongue, he said that for someone who had died in agony, the hero's face was too calm, and it was irritating, and he doubted whether the hero was pretending to be dead. Felix used water magic, and the blade gun spell. The hero's body was instantly cut up. Magic covered his corpse as blood continued to drip from the motionless Ron. Felix continued to watch, and noticed that there was no change. It looked like he really was dead. Finally calming down, he ordered his body to be taken to the common cemetery, along with his mother's ashes, to be thrown out with them. The soldiers accepted the order. The soldiers lifted Ron from the floor, blood running down his arm. Felix stopped them, watching the floor get dirty, and said that they couldn't let the bloody corpse dirty the whole house. Clicking his tongue, he said that as disgusting as it was, he would have to heal it. While the soldiers held him, Felix healed. The hero's bloody hands became clean again without scars, and then Felix ordered to drag him away further. He closed his eyes and said that it was time for him to get back to business, because being the next to the house was not so easy. Later, the soldiers arrived at the cemetery and threw the bag on the ground. One of them grumbled, saying that it was quite a road from the carriage stand to the cemetery. They decided to leave it there. Another said he didn't think anyone would come to say goodbye, but those were the rules. They decided that in 3 or 4 days he would come back and bury him. But for today, they decided to leave because it was dark and creepy there. One said that Felix had promised a reward so they could go and have a drink. The other agreed. When the guards left, the hero cut the bag and looked out through the hole. He saw a dark cemetery. Having got out of the bag, he said that he was saved. Looking at his hand, the hero began to use magic, remembering his decision. Then the hero thought that if he couldn't escape, he would leave the estate openly. He used the weakening poison on himself and activated it. The hero didn't know how well it would work, but he managed to bring himself into a state of apparent death. The hero, as planned, got out of the estate, and the fact that he was able to leave with his mother is a pleasant surprise. Having made a cross for his mother, the hero sat down to pray, thinking that he had gotten out of the estate alive. But what to do next? He knew that in order to survive, he needed to understand how poison magic worked. For this, you can't stay in this place. If they find out that he's alive, they'll definitely kill him. First, he'll leave Lear's domain, which is ruled by Kaget. If he gets to the lands of Astasia by the sea, he'll be able to sail even further. The hero was sure that he would survive. He mentally told his mother that he was leaving and decided to head south. The decision was made. He needs to master poison magic without being caught by the Marquise's house and head to Astasia. Meanwhile, in another place, the maid, with a knife, tells Marie von Astasia that she will die and swings the knife. The girl screamed and asked him to stop. The hero looked at the paralyzing mushroom, wondering if he ate it, he definitely wouldn't die, right? He took a bite. He fell down dead when the system alerted him that the poison in his body had been neutralized. As the hero expected, he heard the voice of heaven. When the poison entered his body, an announcement was made. Apparently, when the poison is neutralized in the body, it is analyzed and becomes available as poison magic. All that remains is to wait for the neutralization to be completed. A huge monster was coming towards the hero from the forest, baring its fangs. The hero panicked because his body was still paralyzed, and he couldn't move, he was careless, he needed to protect himself better. The neutralization continued to work, and the hero begged it to be faster. But the monster had already opened its mouth, and the hero realized that he wouldn't have time. The monster almost touched its fangs and froze, falling dead nearby. The monster died, lying with its mouth open next to a poisonous mushroom. Suddenly another monster appeared and began to torment the corpse of the poisoned monster. The hero lay side by side watching. He was frightened when he saw a bloody snake. The right head of this creature secretes a deadly poison, weakening the prey, and the left one drinks its blood. Finally, the neutralization ended, and the paralyzing poison became available. The hero jumped to his feet, moving away. The hero thought about the very poison that can kill the Vandy Wolf. If he thinks about the future, the hero will need a poison that can deliver a poison. The hero was determined when he thought that he would get it, but he cannot be bitten until he is paralyzed by the poison. The snakes will suck his blood and he will die. He wondered if the paralyzing poison he had just mastered would be able to stop the snake's movements, if he could extract the poison in that time and take it in a safe place. The hero stood at the very edge and realized that in any case, retreating was useless, and he had to act. He rushed into battle using paralyzing poison. Sometime later, the capital of the Duchy of Astasia Krenov. The girl at the counter said that registering as an adventurer costs 1 silver coin. The guy handed her the money, and she asked to see his nameplate. After looking, she asked again if it was true that his name was Rond. When she believed everything, she returned the tablet to him. Looking at it, the guy thought that he would like to change his name so as not to reveal himself, but since his name is associated with a spiritual tablet in the temple, a pseudonym will not work. He was encouraged by the fact that only his name was written down, so that no one would guess that he was from the House of Edwarl. In this world, the name Rond is encountered all over the place. The girl asked what class he would take, and he replied that he would be a ranger specializing in skills related to the use of poisons. The girl was surprised, because it was rare. He asked if it was true and thought that he couldn't tell him that he was a poison mage. It would be too conspicuous. The girl said that now is the time to make money, and said that the prices for buying poisonous herbs and antidotes have risen sharply. If it is an antidote that is not available in the duchy, then they will pay very generously for it. The guy was surprised, asking why, but she didn't answer, she just said that it was a separate story. The guy realized that she didn't want to tell. She wished Ron great success as an adventurer. He left, thinking that if he became too famous, it would be a problem. But he also understood that if he encountered someone from the House of Edwarl in battle, he would need to have a poison powerful enough to fight back. And for now, he needed to quietly collect poisons. 2 men were talking, and one said that the duchy is a godsend. Just bring poisons, and you get paid as easy as pie. Now the hero understood why the girl at the reception hesitated. It was connected with the duchy. The hero asked that adventurer to stop. The man asked what he needed, and the hero, showing the coin, asked if he could tell him more about the poisons. In another place, the man shouted for the next one to come. There stood a soldier of the Duchy of Astasia named Land, and the apprentice of the Duke's personal physician, Fall. Land said that this one had already been taken, and that he should come later. And Fall revealed that they had brought him a regular sleeping pill, and were trying to deceive him. Land was indignant that there were only swindlers around. A knight approached him, saying that they had only 1 person left. He ordered to let him in. He was indignant that there were more than 100 people and not a single normal one, so they would have to look for other healers. Fall replied that there were no normal healers in their lands who could help. The knight replied that they needed someone more famous then. The doctor said that of course they were already looking, but it would take at least a month to get there from other lands. The knight asked if the princess would be able to hold out that long. He read that the last one, a certain Rond, a master of poisons, was a new adventurer in this city and was said to be well-versed in poisons. Fall replied that he should not expect much. He would surely bring some tincture of aspirin herb. Rond walked up to them to greet them. Land told him to stop chatting and asked him what he would do. This was a hero's chance. He heard from that adventurer that it seemed the Duke's daughter had been poisoned, and her condition was getting worse. The Duke was desperately looking for a healer, for an item to save her. The hero thought about hiding from the House of Edwarl. It would be best to hide under someone's protection. If he healed his daughter, then Duke Anastasia might help him. But he understood that he had to be careful. The hero said he had a question. The information he would provide was a deadly poison that could destroy him if not kept secret, and if he could cure the Duke's daughter, could he count on the protection of the Duke's house? Land thought that the hero was just trying to raise his price, but in fact, he was another swindler. He replied that he could not promise anything, but everyone's love for a child is the same. This was enough for the hero, so he told them to prepare a person on whom he could test the poison. A man lay on the ground, writhing in pain.
Wow, this place
Land
is
didn't understand what was happening. He had just been healthy. Fall said he saw the hero do something, but he didn't understand what it was.
My
He looked
intel
at the
network
diamond
never
and
steers
asked
me
Ron
wrong.
what his goal
Now
was.
I'm
He didn't know what his
thinking we
trick
start
was,
off by
but if he
checking
wanted to
whatever
sell this
transaction
poison, he
records
would
we
buy
can
it.
find.
Ron repeated that
See if
from
our
the beginning,
thief
he demanded
already
safety
made the
in
sale.
exchange for the antidote
Hey!
for the Duke's
Which
daughter.
one of you
The
is the
knight
rotten
replied
thief who
that it
stole
was
my robot,
impossible.
huh?
After
Come
such a
out and
suspicious
show
trick,
yourself.
He would not let him near the princess.
That was
The hero
not what I
replied
had in
that he would
mind.
then show proof that he could cure her, but if they saw it, they would become accomplices.
Hmm.
He asked if they were ready. The knight said that the hero was putting on airs again and told him to show it faster.
My,
Then the hero made up
you
his mind.
must be the owner of the
The hero
Krumkake
showed
craft
his
shop.
bag with a dragon. Land said that they were not bandits to look at such things, But Fall understood faster what was in front of him, and recognized in this symbol a magical sign. But he was not familiar with the dragon form. He had never heard
Now
of
this
such a
is an
thing.
opportunity
The
I've
hero
been waiting
stood over
for.
the poisoned one,
Always
using his
easier to
antidote
talk
magic,
business in
the poison of
person.
weakening. Land cried out as he saw the dragon move. The man stood up and cried out that he was saved. He thought he was going to die. Land laughed nervously and said that it was unbelievable. The hero explained that he had a non-magical system and said that he wanted to be useful as soon as possible, and asked if he could meet the Duke.
Which one of
Standing
you
on
is the
Anastasia,
thief?
Duke sat before him. He said that before him was the dragon form of the magic mark, as reported. He said that he had heard that the hero had poison magic and asked for more details. The hero explained that he could control the poison he had once taken, and that he could neutralize the poisons he had mastered. Thadden said that the poison that had poisoned Marie was still on the attacker's knife, and did that mean that if the hero took it, he could cure his daughter? The hero replied that it probably was, but he had only recently awakened this power and did not know his limits. The man thought about it being uncertain, but since other healers were unreliable, there was no choice. He asked, confirming that the hero wanted protection for their home in return, and he confirmed. Rond asked, despite the impudence, to openly tell who he was. After some time, the Count realized that Rond not only possessed a non-magical system, but was also a member of the Marquis Edwarl's house, and was asking them to take on the risk of hostility.
No
with
thieves
the
here,
Edwarl's house.
only
Looking
shrewd
at him,
business
the hero,
people.
for some reason, decided
Speaking
that he would
of,
refuse and
you do
said that
custom
as soon
orders,
as he gained
right?
strength, he would leave
Kid,
the country so as
make
not to
me a
cause him
robot.
trouble, and it was
I'll
enough
be
for him
sure to make it
temporarily
worth your
show
while.
the man thought. The hero mentally wondered if he had answered correctly, one wrong step, and he could be squeezed.
You're the
out
one
of
who
the
built
house
that
of Edward.
robo-maid,
They
right?
exchanged
Is it for sale?
And the hero
I'm dying to
realized
get my
that
hands
he
on
could be
one.
Executed as a dangerous carrier of poisonous magic. The man still agreed to take care of him, so he asked to save his daughter and cure Marie, because he is probably the only one who is capable of this. Ron smiled, promising to do his best. A little later, Rhonda was
Both
showing
of
the
you?
knife that attacked Mrs. Marie.
Get out of my
The
face!
poison on the blade had dried, but was still there.
Ahem.
The hero said
It's
that he would
clear
first take
you
the
two
poison
have
in the
no
usual
respect
way,
for
and
even
then
the
he would
most
likely
basic
pass
of
out, so
rules.
he would be
No
grateful if he was
wonder an
carried
illegal
back.
market like this is
Land
the
told him
only
not to
one that'll
worry.
take
There was
you.
already a guest room for him, and he was
Even if
living there.
Miss Aino is willing
Ron
to
thought
do
about
business
this
with you,
poison
and that's
that
a
no one
big
could
if.
neutralize accurately.
All negotiations
and
go
safely
through the
take
front
it.
desk.
He remembered that
Understood?
when he took the blood snake venom and mastered the deadly poison, it was very painful. Ron didn't know what level of poison his body
As
could
you can
withstand,
see,
so taking
this
a
kid's
powerful
creations
poison
are a
always a
hot
risk.
commodity
If
in
the poison from
Nodcry.
this knife was several
I'm
times
not
stronger than the
surprised these
usual one,
merchants are
he could die
practically
without having time to
clambering over
neutralize
each
it.
other in
But if he were
excitement.
treated now, no
I
blood
don't
suit would enable
care!
him.
Enough
The
is not for
hero from
sale,
Felix,
and
from
neither
his
is
father
Crumb
from the
Clan.
House of Edwarl,
These
came to this
grown-ups
place
are
to
getting
become
on my
free.
nerves.
The hero licked
But the
blade, and
traveler
Land
was
free,
right.
but it was out of his
Well, they're
hands
not
when
gonna
the hero
fess up
fell
because
to
they
his
don't
knees.
even feel
The
guilty.
system continued to
Well,
notify
there goes
about
my
the
plan.
neutralization of the poison in the body. The hero
Yeah,
opened his mouth in a silent
Getting them to
scream of
confess is
pain.
kind of a long
Land
shot.
asked Rhonda if he was okay.
If
and
you
he managed to
figured
squeeze
that
out
would
the
work,
words.
oh, you're even
But
more
everything
out
was
of touch
okay.
than I thought.
Neutralization continued
These
to
people
work,
only
but
care
the
about
pain did
one
not go
thing,
away. He collapsed
Mora.
from a new attack
Being a
of even
good
more severe
person
pain,
doesn't exactly
rolling on the
pad the
floor and
pockets.
smashing everything around him. He
If
managed
we
to grab
want
the base shard with his
information,
palm
the
and
front
grabbed
desk
it,
is the place to
causing the
start.
sharp edges
Follow
to
me.
dig into his skin until it bled. The hero's eyes closed as Land called out to him worriedly. Neutralization was completed, and the beautiful wedding scroll was released. The target became available for analysis. There was mastery of poison type attack. Healing with weakening. Poison became available for use. The hero looked at his hand, saying what a disgusting poison they brought to kill the Duke's daughter. The hero learned that this poison was from a dragon species
if it
that
isn't
only
the owner
occurs
of the
once every
Clink
2
Clank
years.
from Kake Craft
It's
Shop.
dangerous.
What an
The dragon was a
honor!
special
How can I
monster
assist
that
you?
No one had ever defeated. The power of the poison of such a creature was on a completely different level. One wrong step and he could have died.
Let
but he
me
survived
do the
again.
talking.
When
It's
he got out of
simple.
bed, his body
We
was still
just
shaking.
want to know if
He noticed
anyone
that his
has
clothes
tried
had
to
been
sell one of the
changed,
craft
and he
shop
wondered how long he
spots
had
around
slept.
here recently.
Rand entered the room and noticed that Rond had finally woken up.
Ah,
Rond said that they
well,
needed to get to the
I
lead.
won't lie to you.
The
We're
hero
very
met
much
the
a
Duke,
need-to-know
and he said that the hero had
establishment,
slept for
meaning we
quite a long
don't make a
time
habit
eating.
of asking for details about the
The hero asked
transactions
for
that take
forgiveness,
place here.
saying that the
It's
poison
one of
was
the
much stronger
advantages
than
of
he
this place.
expected. The Duke asked if the hero would ultimately be able to
Our
neutralize
clients
the
are
poison.
free to buy
He
or
replied
sell
that it would not
whatsoever
be a
they might
problem.
wish.
They found
All they need to
themselves
do
in
is
front
post a
of Marie's
notice on
room.
the bulletin
The
board.
Duke told the hero that the poison specialist
That's
was their
it?
last hope.
No
and that he
wonder
should
this
do
place is
everything in his
illegal.
power. The hero replied that the man should expect good results.
Wait,
they walked
you
inside
guys!
and came closer to the
The
princess's
first notice
bed.
here is offering a
The
huge
Duke
sum of
took
Mora
the
in
trustee's
exchange
hand
for
and told her
Aino's
to hold
newest
on a little
robot.
longer. He turned to the hero, saying that he was counting on him. But
Crumb
the Duke
Clank was
warned that any
stolen!
suspicious
And
movement
you
in the
just
East
sit
would
back and let
mercilessly
people
use
peddle
magic.
stolen
The hero
goods for
replied
cash.
excitedly
That makes
he would
you
keep
just
that in
as
mind.
bad as the thief.
He apologized and stepped out from
I'm
behind the
afraid
Duke to
it's
look at
not that
Marie. There was a young
simple.
girl lying
As
on
I
the bed.
said, we
A
never
window with
question
her
the terms of our
characteristics appeared in front of the
transactions.
girl. There was her name, information about the eagle
It's a
crest,
matter of
and
professionalism. Remaining
her
neutral
health
in
status
client
was poisoned
disputes
from a
is a
weak
must.
poison. It also showed that out of 43 health points, only
Crumb
5
Clank is
remained.
more than a
The
robot.
hero was
He's my
surprised to see her
friend.
status, and
I'm not
assumed
gonna
that
let
it
him be
must
sold off
dragon
like some
skills gained
second-rate
from
piece of
poison.
scrap.
He saw that her body was shrouded in orange light.
Hey, you can't tear that down! I'm obligated to keep it up until closing at least. Please, show some
The hero
understanding.
pointed his palm at her, deciding
What
that
happened
he
to
would not
remaining
allow
neutral in
this.
client disputes?
The poison on that knife was from a dragon species called
Listen,
the purple dragon.
customers
And
have to
only the
pay to
poison
put
of
up a
green
notice, all
dragon
right?
could neutralize it. It was theoretically impossible to create an antidote against a purple dragon.
We have to
which
turn
no
a
one had
profit
ever
somehow.
defeated, but he
If
would
you
do
pay
it.
more than the original
The hero
customer,
cast
I'll
a
let you
spell.
cover that
The
notice
poison
up with one of your
contained in the
own.
breath flows through the body like a river. The Duke froze, seeing the glow. The hero used his magical power. to touch the girl's
Enough!
hand. He
This
used
place
antidote
clearly
venom,
has its
dragon
rules.
venom.
There's
The hero
no
fell
point
to
in
his
making a
knees, thinking
scene.
that one
Besides,
neutralization
we
took more than
found a
half of his
clue,
magical
didn't we?
power. If he
Let's
puts in
see
more
what the
magic
notice
to
says.
enhance the effect, he will begin to experience magical exhaustion, but here he cannot fail, and he will put in all his magical power to save her. The hero used all his
Huh.
magic.
Willing
girl
to
began
part
to
with
react.
large sum in
Duke
return for
called out to his
specific
daughter.
robot.
Dark
It
swirls of
appears to
magic
be the work
surrounded
of the
entire
Krumkake
bedroom.
craft shop.
Finally,
Details
everything became
negotiable in
quiet and all the
person.
magic disappeared. The Duke looked at the hero in
According to
amazement. He
intel
was trying
from
to
an
catch his breath
informant,
and wanted
there
to
is
see the
only
state
one
his
of its
health.
kind in
Looking,
existence.
he saw that his
It
health
is
points had
currently
become
in the
17,
hands of the
and
Frost
condition
Moon
was shown as
Scions.
excellent. The hero smiled because it worked and he could cure her. The Duke
Present the
approached his
robot
daughter
to
and she
me,
woke up.
and a
The girl
generous
called
sum
her
of
father and
Mora will
cried
be
out that
yours.
everything worked out. Hero watched from the side
The
and
Frost
then
Moon
left,
Scions?
leaving them.
Does
A little
that
relieved.
mean
The Duke
the
thanked Ron once again
Krumkake
and
craft
said
shop
that
is
from now on,
situated
he
between the
would live in
Frost Moon
duchy as an
Enclave and
honor
Nasha
guest.
Town? There are people
hero
always
thanked
pass by the
An
workshop
honored
whenever
guest
they
is
need to
something
head
like a
into
lodger
town.
who is received as a sage or a warrior.
Over time, you get used to
The
it.
Duke said
And
that if
Neffa
they
and
were to
I
receive
never even
protection,
thought to be
it
on
would be better
guard.
if everything was clear.
So,
If they
does
acted
that mean the Frost
the
Moon
Marquis of
Scions
Warrell's
stole your
house would be
bot?
afraid to do anything. The
why?
Duke added that there was a nuance. In order to accept him as an
I
honored
know
guest,
why.
he wanted the
They
hero to do
obviously
something.
want Crumb
And say
Clank's
that Ron
desserts
could
for
live freely
themselves.
and relaxed, but with a condition.
Desserts?
The Duke wanted him to
Yeah,
find those
and
who
Neffa is
organized
always
the
controlling my sugar
assassination
intake
attempt on
or
Marie.
whatever.
This
So
would be his
that's why I
mission as
created
an
Crumb
honored
Clank.
guest who could
All
move
you gotta
freely.
do is input the
Having finished
recipe
the
and provide the
conversation,
ingredients,
Ron
and
walked
he
down the
bakes
corridor,
desserts for you.
saying that it was easy to say. The servants were whispering
All
about the
this
guest of honor.
for
Since
a
the Duke had taken
dessert
someone as a
baking
guest for the
robot?
first time. The hero wanted to sleep. From behind, he was told not
Trying
to
to
be such a sloth.
downplay it, are
The
we,
hero
Miss
told
Aino?
Marie that he would become
Not
stronger
convincing
and
enough to
protect
fool
her.
the various
She
factions
laughed
of
and said that she was
Notcry,
looking
I'm
forward to
afraid.
it. The heroes arrived at another place. The hero said that
Who
it was
are
no
you?
wonder that the villa of the Duke's House of Astasia was so luxurious.
Asako.
Marie said that it was time for
Oh,
them to begin their natural training.
my boss knows
He
him.
said that there was a
He's
suitable
quite a
place behind the
respected
estate
guy in that
and
circle.
suggested that they train there.
What
When
are
they
you
arrived,
doing in a
they saw that
place
in
like
this place,
this?
One can train magic to the fullest, without fear of strangers' eyes.
The
girl asked
Voynich
if he
Guild
would show
isn't
his
the
magic.
only place to make deals,
He
you know.
extended his hand and
Business
summoned
often
a
requires one to
He summoned a spherical
expand
form
their
that exerted
horizons.
a lot of magical power. A large black ball
And when it
appeared before
comes to
them. He
lucrative
summoned a
opportunities,
poisonous
I'm not
dragon,
one to discriminate.
blast dragon,
In fact,
and launched it
I'm
at
the one who
tree.
got someone to post
After
the notice you
impact,
just saw.
The tree broke and fell to the ground. The girl said that this is incredible power. It is not only a powerful magical attack, but also when it hits, it dissolves the poison around it quite an ominous
So
magic.
you're the one who's
He
trying to buy
definitely
Crumb
practiced
Clank.
it in the estate.
You're as
He
rotten
poked
as the
the
rest
stick
of them.
and said that it seemed to dissolve objects.
No,
If they
no,
were
it's
in the
just
estate,
business.
the floor would definitely fall in. The hero said that he
I
was
have
trying to
a
change the type of poison.
fascination
The girl
with this
agreed and
robot
told
of
him to do
yours, Miss
whatever he
Ino.
wanted to the fullest.
I tried to
The hero
purchase it from the
summoned a
Frost
new
Moon
ball that
Scions,
was no
but those
longer
zealots
similar
wouldn't
to the previous
budge.
one. He was focused. The girl watched him, remembering how she saw him for the first time.
So here I
and
am,
his promise to
right
become
at the
stronger and
source.
protect her.
I want you to
This made
fashion
her smile.
another of its kind.
He turned to her
Mora
and asked
is
what
no
happened.
object.
She was
I'll even
confused,
offer you
and only
10
then noticed
times
he'd
the
already
number on
cast
the
10
notice.
spells, and the magic was still running. He said he could continue. He explained that strong poisons take a lot of strength.
I don't do
but the ones
business
he
with
was
rotten
using now
thieves.
were weak poisons. She asked what
Your
weak poisons
notice
were.
didn't talk about
Marie
how you
said
want
that
this
usually
done.
they don't use
In
so much
other
magic.
words,
Even 10
stealing
fireballs
is
would cause
fair
magical
game.
exhaustion. The guy replied that he has a large reserve of magical power.
You're
Speaking about
telling
the
me
magic
someone
reserve,
of
Ron
your
remembered his
esteem
past.
is willing
How his
to
brother
risk
Felix
your
trained and
reputation
everyone
for a
praised him. Back then, he
cake-baking
dreamed of
robot?
having the same talent as his brother.
How
We were
about
asking him what
this?
would happen if he used
Share
his
the
strongest
intel
poison.
from your
The guy replied
informant,
that he
and the
hadn't tried
Crumb
it yet, so he
Cake craft
didn't know.
shop
He
will
asked
owe
if
you
he
a
could try.
favor.
The girl gave him permission, and he began to cast spells, concentrating. He thought that he was not the same person now as he had been before. Now he has in his hands the most powerful poison magic, dragon poison. He used the dragon poison
According
magic
to
spell,
my
Purple
intel,
Dragon. The
this
dragon-shaped
bot
spell
is capable
rushed
of
forward
much
straight
more
towards the
than
target
baking
as the boy
cakes.
commanded it. The black
It
case
incorporates the
extended over
technology of the
distance
boom and
for
blast
deep
Kuvaki
force.
energy
The
cannon,
girl and the boy both
and
stood
has
in shock at
formidable
what they saw.
potential as a
He turned to
weapon.
her saying that he would try to make sure that no one could defeat him. She
What?
said that with such strength, she felt that she was invincible.
Look
The boy
at that
walked forward
cannon.
into the forest,
It's
thinking
capable
that
of
he
condensing
needed to
Kuvaki
experience
into
the blazing
highly
magic
destructive
even more.
energy.
He asked the girl for permission
But
to
it's
go
too
further into the
big and
forest
cumbersome
alone,
to be
and she warned him that
mass-produced
there were
and
monsters
transported.
far from the villa and he should be careful.
Not
He
to
thought about
mention,
Mari,
it
saying
takes
that
a
he could
considerable
defeat him,
amount of
but that
time
wasn't
between
simple,
firings to
because
prepare the
purple dragon's
ammunition.
poison was only
All in
available
all,
to a
it's
few
not
of the
something that can be
supplies. The hero
commercialized.
didn't know for sure, but it was probably worth an astronomical amount.
But
He knew that
if you
someone
make
could
it
pay that much
smaller
higher
and
assassin,
easier to mass
he would be a
produce,
formidable
you
opponent.
have the
And if
perfect
the people
product.
of House Edouard
Even if it
found
doesn't
him
quite
and had to
replicate
fight
the
his
power
brother
of
and
that
sister,
cannon.
they would not give him time to use a powerful spell.
Besides,
like the purple
if you
dragon's
think
venom.
about it,
The
is
hero
that
came
not
to the
precisely
conclusion
why
that
the
he needed to
Frost
better
Moon Scions
understand the
targeted your bot in the
characteristics of
first
his magic
place?
and learn to control it.
In
He
their
needs practice.
doctrine,
Just
Kuvaki
in
is
front
a
of him, 3
sacred
goblins
power.
appeared.
They'd
All of them
consider
showed a
it
status
blasphemy
with
to
their
treat
health
it as
points being
anything
full and
but.
in excellent health. The hero immediately launched a poison ball
The
with
giant
weakened
cannon in
poison
Nasha
at
Town
once,
uses
hitting the
Kuvaki
target
to
and
fend off the
launching.
wild hunt and
After
protect
hitting
the
all
people,
3, he assessed
which
the
is something the
condition,
Frost Moon
seeing
Scions
that
can
the health
accept.
points had decreased by 9, and
But
the
turning
condition
that
had become
technology
poison.
into a
One of the
product
goblins
and
was dead
allowing
in front of him.
anyone with
The hero
Mora to
thought,
purchase
and
it via
when
the
results
black
found out
market
that
and
the poison effect
wield the
gradually
power
reduces
of
health points
Kuvaki
to
for
death.
themselves.
The damage rate is about 1 point per second.
Now that
From
is
the side, a
blasphemy of the
goblin ran
highest
again.
order,
The
I would
hero
imagine.
also used a weakening poison on him by
A lot of
launching
trouble
ball.
could come
When the
knocking at
projectile
your
hit the
doorstep,
target,
Miss
he saw
Ino.
that this time the health
But
points
sell that technology to
but there
me,
was no poisoning.
and it all goes
Having
away.
hit the goblin again,
Easy as
the
that.
hero realized that the poison ball deals physical damage when it hits.
Please don't
and
tell me
poisoning
you've
is an
made some
additional
kind of
effect
war
that
machine
falls out
again.
randomly. Targeting another goblin,
Crumb Clank isn't
the
a
hero
war
decided to
machine.
try a different
I
type
already
of poison.
told you. He
He
makes
used the
desserts.
poison ball
And
of
deliciously,
paralyzing poison.
scrumptiously
The effect
yummy
of
ones at
paralyzing
that.
poison was paralysis. The monster's health points were halved, and it could not act.
He's
due
my
to
friend,
paralysis.
and I'm gonna get him back
The
no
hero
matter
thought
what it
that
takes.
this was most
So
likely
you can
also
take your
a
offer and
random
get
effect.
lost.
He summoned a new ball in his palm. The hero touched the monster's head and used a deadly poison. The goblin died instantly. The hero thought that something was becoming clear to poison the enemy. There are 2 ways, remote and direct. From what the hero saw, the ranged one deals physical damage, but the poison effect is random, and direct contact is risky, but the poison is guaranteed to work. The hero shuddered when he heard the scream of Madame Marie. At that time, in the clearing, the knights of the county were fighting with bandits. Several mercenaries in black clothes easily dealt with the soldiers. One of them ran towards Marie, who could not move, and only looked with her eyes wide open. The girl remembered the moment when the fake maid almost killed her and
It appears negotiations have
The
broken
hero,
down.
having appeared nearby,
A real
used
pity.
the poisonous magic of the dragon. Explosive dragon.
What do we
A
do
huge mouth
now?
of black smoke in the shape of a dragon appeared in front of the bandit's face. The huge mouth closed on the body of the mercenary, carrying him away. The hero stood in front of Mari, calling out to her while the bodies of the bandits, tightly clamped in the dragon's
We know
mouths,
Crumb Clank
were
is with the
carried away
Frost Moon
into the sky.
Scions, so all we have
The
to
hero
do is
shouted
go
that he would
there and
protect
then...
her, and the girl watched as those who threatened her screamed helplessly. The dragons rushed towards the ground, hitting the ground. 3 of the attackers were already dead after the collision and lay on the ground, split by the impact. The girl was shaking, and the guy put his hand on top of hers, calming her down. He sat on his knee in front of her, telling her that everything was okay and he would protect her. She called him. She thought that he had saved her again, and she owed him a debt that she could never repay, that she was safe with him. She thanked Rhonda. A little later at the Duke's estate, the man,
Hold up.
hearing that the
I
attackers were
should
named
warn
Dancer
you,
and Tempter,
if that merchant
said that
was
most
telling the
likely they were
truth,
Connie's
things
brothers.
are about to
The
get
girl asked
tricky.
if they were known
Just
in
be
certain
prepared,
circles, and the
okay?
man replied that they were more than known, especially among hired killers. He said that they are ruthless, ready to hack to death even a baby, and have high stealth, and if it weren't for Ron, it would be dangerous. The man was glad they were saved, but if someone could hire these 3, then the circle of suspects narrows considerably. The hero said he was glad to help. The Duke said that he was in his debt again, even if Ron stopped being an honored guest and left. He would prepare a sum that would last for several years. The hero asked if this meant what he thought, and the man confirmed it, telling him not to worry. The Duke's intelligence network found no pursuers or signs that House Edwarl was actively searching for anything. He said that in the Marquis's house, they seemed to believe that the hero had died by taking poison, and that if he kept quiet, he would not be discovered. The hero was glad that he no longer had to look back, and that he was finally free. The hero was tormented by the thought that if he left the Duke's house now, what would happen to Marie? The Duke said that of course Ron could stay, and, frankly speaking, because of Marie, the Duke himself would like to ask him about it. The hero replied that he had also thought about it, at least until this problem was solved. He wanted to protect Madame. The Duke was glad. The Duke said that after the attack by Connie's brothers, they decided to add another bodyguard to better protect Marie. And her name is Amanda, she is a female knight, and now they will protect Marie together. The hero was surprised to hear about a female knight. The Duke said that although she was a woman, her skill was undeniable. She was one of the 3 strongest in their knightly order. She had a bit of a harsh character, but she should be able to work well with the hero later. The hero's eyes widened as he watched. He managed to jump back from the blow, and the ground beneath his feet cracked. Stumbling after the blow, the hero fell, flying to the side. The girl standing above him said that, as expected, all empty words, and asked if he was really going to protect the Marines. Knight of Sia, Amanda Magnaria, shouted at him that if he was serious about protecting Marie, he had to kill her. The hero, wiping his face, thought that it was simply madness that he would kill an important member of the knightly order of the Duke who had sheltered him, and the Duke was good at saying that he would work well with such a person. The girl introduced herself and said that by order of the Duke, from that day on, she was the personal bodyguard of Madame Marie. Amanda asked him if his name was Rond, not Barkud. The hero said it was, and said that the Duke had ordered them both to guard Madame Marie together, and he was glad to meet her. The girl said that when Connie's brothers attacked Madame Marie at the villa, the hero was not there, and asked why that happened. The guy replied that they had gone to the villa to practice magic, and he wanted to try out the spell and went to the area with the monsters. Amanda said that it seemed he put his magical training above Mistress Marie's safety. Rond replied that it was not so. He thought it was not right to take Mistress Marie in a wheelchair to a dangerous place. The girl shouted that at that moment they attacked her, and he did not even foresee such a possibility. The hero agreed that he was frivolous, but at that moment he was still only an honored guest. Amanda did not listen, asking loudly, and so what if he was just a guest? She reminded him that he had promised to protect Marie, and the hero remembered that it was true. The knight said that to protect means to put your life on the line, and asked if Rhonda had such determination. The hero was silent, and she asked if he knew that the most dangerous thing when carrying out a task, the most dangerous thing, is to act together with someone who has no determination. Therefore, she will check if he is fit to protect the lady, his skills, and his determination. The girl stood in a stance and used magic. She used fire magic explosion. The hero was amazed that she also owned magic. He understood that it was dangerous if something like that hit him,
Traveler
and would not be safe.
Paimon, come
One of the
night or
shells
day,
exploded nearby,
may the
and the
moonlight
hero flew
connect
forward
us.
from the shockwave. The girl watched the haze from
I
the
sense
explosion,
you
saying,
are
"This is the
troubled.
training ground of the Knights
Please,
Order, so the hero cannot
unburden
go back."
yourself.
A bright glow appeared from the haze. A poison ball with deadly poison flew straight at her from the smoke.
You saw right
The
through
girl
us again,
used
huh?
tribute imposition on her staff in time. She hit the sphere with her staff and destroyed it. The hero was shocked that his spell was
Bathed in
neutralized.
moonlight,
The girl rushed
the
to him,
concern
asking
in
what
your
happened.
features
She hit
is
the
as
ground
stark as
asking
the
what all
dark
this was
spots
about.
on a full
She froze,
moon,
noticing something
ever
off to the
betraying
side.
the
Noticing
emotion
hero, she
that
hit him,
lies beneath the
saying that it
surface.
was weak, and he flew away. She screamed that this was not enough, and his determination was terrible. Her body was suddenly struck. She fell to her knees, asking what he had done. The guy said that he injected her with poison.
I tell Ino to keep quiet for 1 second. And
And
of course, she throws a tantrum. Lady Moonchanter, allow me to explain.
She will die. The girl finally understood what poison magic was. The hero said that this was enough. And he could
Theft.
neutralize the poison.
How
The girl did not
despicable.
ask for mercy from
A
the
disgrace on the Frost
saying that
Moon
such
Scions.
poison was nothing to her. She showed the stone in her palm and
It's
squeezed
all
it,
just
causing it to
speculation
glow.
at this
Ron
point.
recognized it as a magical healing
Just a
stone.
moment.
A disposable item too expensive, so he saw it for the first time in his life. The girl rose to her feet. E-health was indeed restored, and the hero saw that the poison was gone. The magic stone not only removes status effects, but also restores health points. He wondered
A
how
few
much it
days
cost.
ago, a
Amanda
mechanical
said that they would
construct was
continue.
brought back to the
The
Frost
hero
Moon
tensed up, and at
Scions.
that moment, someone off to the side asked what they were doing.
Come,
Both turned around.
I will speak to the offenders at once. I am
Ron
certain
was
the truth of
surprised
the
to
matter
see
will
that she
reveal
could already
itself.
stand. The girl said that her legs were fine, but that was not the main thing now.
Children should not be exposed to such nonsensical stories.
Come night or day, may the moonlight connect us. What can I do for you, my lady? Theft! We would never do such a thing. This is baseless slander. We did recover a dangerous mechanic, steal it. We confiscated it from a group of bandits.
If there's been a misunderstanding, our guests deserve an explanation.
I remember. It was a few days ago out in the wild. Huh? What's going on over there?
It's still not done? Come on! We need to finish these tests before the locals are onto us!
Can't we just go somewhere else? This job's putting me on edge.
No, idiot! Didn't you hear what the boss said? This thing uses Kuvaki. Why else would we be out here? Now shut up and get moving!
Not so loud! I just need to think. This should be it.
What was that?
What did you do? Are you trying to give us away?
No, Look, at least we know this thing's powerful, right? We should have enough to report back on.
All right, then let's pack up and get out of here.
Stop right there! Drop that dangerous device at once!
Shoot! That was quick. Can you activate this thing again?
I don't even remember what I did. Are we supposed to run with this thing? It weighs a ton!
Let's just make a run for it. The most important thing is that we don't get caught!
So, that's what happened. We didn't catch the bandits, but we were able to intercept the device.
I know. I'll ask you one more time. Are you sure you didn't make some kind of war machine?
Maybe this is another misunderstanding. We don't know for sure that the device Otto confiscated is Krumklank. Did it have this symbol on it?
Yes.
That's the one I designed for my bots. I made it so that even if the bot gets dismantled or modified, the symbol can't be removed. So, Krumklank is definitely the bot you picked up.
Misunderstanding resolved, then. The device will be returned to its rightful owner.
Forgive me, my lady, but I believe that is far too risky. Although this device is similar in principle to the cannon in Nasha Town, the two cannot be seen in the same light. By harnessing Kuvaki, the cannon has protected this land from the wild hunt time and time again. I've always regarded it as a blessing from the moon goddess. But this construct is more like a commercial product. In the hands of those with nefarious intentions, it could easily be exploited for personal gain. As far as I'm aware, this young lady often has dealings with the major factions of Nodcry. I suspect she created the device to sell it for profit. If it ends up on the black market, in the hands of those who would misuse our goddess's gifts...
Krumklank is my friend! He's not for sale.
As much as I would like to believe you, that is a risk we cannot take. It is blasphemous to allow the power of our sacred moonlight to be exploited.
I warned them that things were about to get tricky. Oh, what have I got myself into?
The best course of action is to destroy this dangerous device and prevent anything like it from ever being created again.
What did you just say? Are you threatening to destroy Krumklank?
You must understand. The consequences could be dire.
No, you just want Krumklank for yourselves, just like everyone else. Get out of my way! Fido, calm down!
Stop this at once! We cannot let you leave with that dangerous device.
I told you, Krumklank is my friend!
Please, calm yourself.
I know! But you heard him! He wants to destroy Krumklank. We won't let that happen. But causing trouble isn't going to help the situation.
Not good. A group of flying machines just ambushed the storage facility and took back the device.
What? That can't just be a coincidence. They must have taken advantage of our conflict with this girl.
Whoa! That's a lot of recon bots!
It must be those black market merchants! I knew we wouldn't get off so easy.
I can create a temporary moon lane here. Could you get the Kuhenki to help, Traveler? All right, let's knock him down! Oh, right. The recon bot. Phew! That was way too close! Reckless much, Traveler?
At least it all turned out okay. Nice fighting back there, by the way. Thought I'd have to swoop in and save the day, but guess I was wrong. That really was way too close. If something happens to that kid, I don't know how I'd explain it to Anefa.
Okay? No! It's not okay! How is it okay? Crumclank's been stolen! Again!
Allow me to apologize on behalf of my people. If we hadn't tried to stop you, perhaps you could have reached your companion in time.
My lady.
If she truly viewed that robot as a product, she could simply create another. But instead, she demonstrated a degree of courage that should put us all to shame. Not even the light of the full moon could reveal the slightest blemish in her goodness. But your hearts are sinking into shadows that the moonlight cannot reach.
You have my sincerest apologies.
It's okay. It was all just one big misunderstanding.
Do not despair, young one. The pure of heart will always have the moonlight to guide them. I'm confident that you will retrieve your companion. I can even send some of my people to help, if needed.
Okay. That brings us to our next question. Where should we go now?
It's obvious. That stunt just now, it had that merchant from the black market written all over it. He knew we were walking into a conflict with the Frostmoon Scions, and he used that as his opening. I'd even go so far as to say, he's the one that stole your bot in the first place. Explains how he knew it was here, and could set this all up. If you want my opinion, Asuko's your biggest suspect. But I guess we can't rule out the other merchants either.
Yeah, so that means you know where we should search next.
So, it's all up to me again? That market is long gone. Who knows where those merchants scurried off to? And we don't even know which one's the real culprit. Oh, this is what I get for trying to sound confident.
You just can't stand seeing Aino so upset, right, Yehoda? Aw, that's so nice! From here on out, we're counting on you.
Great. How am I supposed to back out now? Fine. At least, give me 2 days.
No problem. See, Aino? Look at all the help you've got. Everything's gonna be fine. I know.
Take me up! Fighting the loot is often a cause of conflict. Take me up!
Fulfill our pact! Transfixed!
Something with which to commemorate this occasion.